So given that Kumar has had some improvements in his shoulder abduction ranges and his abduction active control is improving, what we now need to consider is how to understand and why I program it this way. So we have been doing scaption plan, shoulder down, abduction, and he's able to hold it with 1 kilo weights and such. We also have 1 kilo eccentric external rotation, building up strength, and he was able to do it for a good 6 out of 10 reps without much loss of control, and minimal bicep tendon activity. So it's all holding on from the posterior rotator cuff structures. So what you have to understand the progression of that is by week 6, I plan with that ability to hold it here already, and ability to control that shoulder in control. My plan is to eventually progress it into this external rotated position and then start shoulder pressing already. But in shoulder pressing, there's a few things involved. If he's in the machine and he's slightly in this angle, there is a chance that he will get his bicep kicking in again. So there's need for him to have the strength eccentrically just to do this, and then he pressed it with his deltoids as such. The other part of it is the shoulder press techniques have to be discussed with him when he is external rotated. As he's coming up and lowering down, I don't want the biceps to curl like this and then lower down and rest this way. He has to maintain the weight over the elbow, and it follows the elbow up and down. Okay. The next part of his rehab is anti-gravity control. So he is getting more and more ranges in terms of his Ys to get to his end range, and then ability to hold active range from here to here. You have to passively help him all the way up here. He has an isometric ability to hold this position now. Progression from there will be for him to have longer endurance in this position, continue to narrow however much the person can do actively holding in this range. Finally, I also introduce a stick. So you bring it up, hold isometric, pull elbow below rib, to behind neck, to barbell stick. So he is training his posterior calves to work anti-gravity, so that when he does overhead presses, he will have a different facilitation of the posterior rotator cuff structures that he has some tear in it. Now we are finally ready. So for any instability conditions, lateral type conditions, one of the objective tests is called shoulder acceptance test. It's either 60 or 90 centimeters apart with a hand wide, and the test is how fast you can tap one to the other in a 30 seconds to 1 minute point. But he clearly cannot do it yet because he's going to use his big muscle groups and to hold it there. So what we did was modifications of the shoulder acceptance test. We did it this way, but he has to learn shoulder packing. So he's leaning into his rotator cuff. This one he passed quite well. Therefore, the second one, widen up his stance. Tap. Sorry, we did this. Tap. Tap. And he finds it very tricky just to maintain the stability over this one hand because of the leg rotate component. Then we go into planks, but the plank's intention is to get this shoulder hinges in pivoting, and when I meant eccentric is once he pivot up, don't let him drop there, that's where he'll hurt. He will slowly lower himself, catch himself, strong, push, slowly lower himself, and he's doing at 6 reps for this particular movement. Finally, he do push-ups. Push-ups the same thing. Shoulder acceptance position, pack it in, and going down into a push-up. Hold isometric there, 1, 2, 3, push out. Intention is, that's where the calf activity is most. So we really try to get as deep as we can. After having a bench, all these 3 exercises will be progressed onto the floor. And all these 3 exercises, where possible, especially the push-ups, will be off the block. So he's on the block and he's getting deeper beyond the block, whereby we know in this position here, it requires a lot of calf activity. If you have any questions, just let me know. Oh, the final one is, he'll be on this bench, incline, his shoulder drop down, but because of the bicep tonicity that has been working throughout the workout, he will hold his bicep in this position here. What you do is you get away, and the direction is just basically this action. So you get away and hold it 5 seconds in this lengthened position for the long head bicep, and you let it go. And then ask him to relax the arm back behind a little bit more. Hold it in this position, and then let it go. Whirling deeper. 3 sets of 5 seconds, and then he was able to get full range shoulder extension back again in supinated grip. Okay.